Good morning, good morning. It is Self Awareness Wednesday, and I'm excited. Um, we have an exciting topic this morning. So, we're going to be talking about it's Self Awareness Wednesday, first and foremost. And so, we're always going to be talking about gentle ways to approach shadow work, which means that we are going to be talking about identifying fear in our lives, fear based behaviors, fear based beliefs, fear driven beliefs and behaviors. And so we are going to always be having this conversation around who we are in the state of fear so that we can use that to empower ourselves to grow and expand in our self love practice. And so this morning, we are going to be talking about noticing resistance at the edge of our comfort zone. And so, and let's just, make sure that we are clear. Resistance is fear. Anytime that we are showing resistance to a situation, emotion, person, place, this is fear. This is just another form of fear. There's a difference between having this discernment versus resistance, right? And it's a feeling. And this is something that you'll know. And this is why self awareness requires so much openness and so much honesty with self. Because when we are improving the way that we trust ourselves, this makes self awareness just so much more easier to expand in, to grow in, and to accept. Right? Because sometimes we become aware of ourselves and we become aware of beliefs and behaviors that we don't like. Some it is what it is. But the beautiful thing about this is that you get to decide on whether or not you are going to accept yourself, whether it's something that you don't like or something that you do like, something that, you know, you and you can accept yourself fully and unconditionally, knowing that whatever it is that you don't want to, however you don't want to behave or what beliefs you don't want to align with anymore, that you are the one that can change that. And that's why acceptance can be so easy, because we know that if it's something that we want to change, we have the power to change it. That is how powerful you are. And so when we talk about self-awareness on Self-Awareness Wednesday, yes, we're going to be having, these tough conversations with ourselves and finding out gentle ways to approach these conversations. But we have to have the conversations nonetheless so that we're able to grow and expand, and be able to enhance the quality of our lives, experience greater daily fulfillment, and then really promote a healthy heart and mind lifestyle. As women, that is something that we have to prioritize. Given heart disease is our greatest threat, um, we are twice as likely to experience depression, an episode of major depression, than men. And studies have shown that heart disease and depression, anxiety are linked. So we want to be more aware of ourselves so that we can be empowered to lead these healthy heart and healthy mind lifestyles so that we can make the decisions that are going to be best suited for our overall health and wellness, and the way that the way that we love ourselves. So let's start off with just jumping right into resistance at the edge of fear, at the edge of our comfort zone. And the first thing that we want to do when we are experiencing fear at the edge of our comfort zone, this means that in some way, shape, or form, we are just uncomfortable, either advocating for ourselves. We're uncomfortable being seen. We're uncomfortable being heard. We're uncomfortable, um, getting outside of what we have been able to survive in currently, right? Because I don't want the comfort zone to seem like an actual comfortable place, because it's not. It is a space that you are familiar with. It is a space that you have learned how to survive in. So you have all the tools to survive in this comfort zone, but that does not mean that it's comfortable. And it also means that if we are surviving it, then we're not thriving in it. And so, to an extent, in our lives, we have to be actually comfortable with constant change, with expansion. And sometimes when you're being stretched, it doesn't feel comfortable, but that is how you know you are growing and you are expanding in your life. We are not supposed to be the same person we were last year or yesterday, honestly. And so, what is it? How do we approach this discomfort, this resistance at the edge of our comfort zone? Well, first, we want to just explore this fear. Where is this fear coming from? You know what I mean? Ask yourself these purpose questions like, well, what am I experiencing, or how many different emotions am I experiencing right now? What is going to happen in the event that I step outside of this comfort zone, that I try something new for myself, that I put myself first, that I say no, that I enforce boundaries, that I change careers, that I, stay inside. I don't go out. What are the possibilities that are going to present themselves in the event that I take one little baby step outside of my comfort zone? What is going to happen? And take time to explore it. Take time to explore if this fear that you are experiencing, this resistance that you're experiencing, really has any weight or value. Because when we start to really lean more towards the other side of it, not the fear of it, but how are we expanding in love in it, then we are building up this confidence and building up this our ability to want to step outside of our comfort zone. And so when we are facing these challenges, hey, good morning. When we're facing these challenges, this resistance of stepping outside of our comfort zone, we have to first acknowledge and explore where the fear is coming from and ask ourselves questions about what is going to happen in the event that we step outside of that comfort zone. Does this fear carry any real weight to it? Meaning, what are the consequences if I actually, what are the consequences of me staying inside of this comfort zone? Because again, we know that our comfort zones are not always comfortable, they're just familiar. So this comfort zone could be an abusive relationship. This comfort zone could be a toxic work environment. This comfort zone could be a space with no boundaries, no sense of self-worth or value. This comfort zone could be no self-advocacy. This comfort zone could be something that where you're not seen, where you're not heard. And so, what are the consequences of actually staying inside of this comfort zone? So we talked about what it looks like to put ourselves in on the other side of it and ask ourselves questions about what it looks like to step outside of the comfort zone, but really weigh what this call fear's bluff and explore what am I sacrificing by staying inside of this comfort zone. And so the first thing that we want to do is explore the fear. We want to explore it. So this is why you want to get really comfortable asking yourself questions. I like to call these type of questions purpose questions, because and now I have to tell you on what the other side, what those other questions sound like, those prevention questions. So purpose questions are going to be questions that are going to get you closer to what is going to help you expand. These are questions that are going to align you with the purpose of this emotion that you're experiencing, right? And so these questions are going to help you get to the root of it. And that's why these questions that I was giving you for an example are questions that are going to help illuminate this situation for you so that you're able to get more clear, right? So these purpose questions are going to bring clarity to the situation and help empower you to make a decision that's going to be in alignment with your highest good. Prevention questions, on the other hand, prevention questions are going to be questions that kind of sound like, well, what if they don't like me if I say this? Well, what if, they show me some type of adversity? What if it doesn't feel good? What if it hurts? What if well, how long is it going to hurt? You know, what if I don't know what's going to be on the other side? What if I'm afraid of the unknown? What is that going to be like? I want to feel more like I know what's going on, and these are questions that are just not going to help illuminate the situation for you. These are not questions that are going to help bring more clarity for you. These are not questions that are going to help you expand in self-love. These are not questions that are going to align you with your highest good. And so these prevention questions are questions that are going to prevent you from getting closer to your truth. These are questions that are going to prevent you from being able to expand. And these questions are going to restrict you just like your comfort zone is, right? And so when we talk about noticing this resistance at the edge of our comfort zone, we're talking about exploring this fear first, and being fair, right? We want to weigh our options because, there's healthy fear and then there's unhealthy fear. Unhealthy fear is going to restrict you. It's going to keep you from growing, keep you from expanding. This unhealthy fear is going to minimize the trust that you experience with yourself, and it's going to keep you from knowing yourself, really knowing yourself, because you are going to evolve in this life. That is what your design is. You are designed for expression, expansion, and evolution. Don't get it twisted, sis. This is what you came here to do. And so understanding what unhealthy fear is versus what healthy fear is. Now, healthy fear healthy fear is going to let you know if there's an actual danger or threat present. We're talking about our comfort zone, right? So obviously we're trying to detox that unhealthy fear. We're trying to explore this fear so we can, one, identify whether or not it's actually, real. Is it healthy or is it unhealthy? And then we're also going to weigh our pros and cons. Like, what does it look like if I step outside of this comfort zone? What are the benefits to me? What are the consequences if I stay inside of this comfort zone? And so just really looking at that and taking the time to explore that. You can do that by way of journaling. You can do that by way of scheduling a coaching call. If you're a member at Center Me, you can do that by way of scheduling a session with your therapist. You can do that by way of meditating on it. And so this is, some people, I heard this a while back and I really loved it. They say that when you pray, you talk to God. When you meditate, you listen. And so sometimes you just got to meditate on that thing. And so the first thing is to make sure that we are exploring the fear. The second thing that I wanted to bring up was reaffirm your security. Sometimes we misplace that sense of security in our comfort zone because, and I want to tell you a personal story about that, because that is a very real thing, to misplace your security, your sense of security. Because sometimes we will think that because this is a comfort zone, a familiar zone, that's where our security is. Again, we talked about how we've learned how to survive in this comfort zone. We've learned how to we have all the tools. We know how to we know the techniques. We know how to tiptoe around. We know how to walk on eggshells. We know how to hold ninja this thing, this comfort zone. But that is not basis. That is not enough groundedness for security. Right? So when we put our security in a comfort zone, then our security ain't that secure. Right? And so it is your responsibility. And you are so capable, sis. You are so capable of giving yourself permission to feel safe in any environment, whether it be your comfort zone, whether it be you testing those limits and pushing yourself outside of it, whether it be you breaking self-limiting beliefs and behaviors. You are very much capable of giving yourself permission to feel safe and to feel secure. And so reaffirm that. Reaffirm that sense of security. And the story that I wanted to share real quick is that the first time I really recognized how dangerous comfort zones could be is when I realized that, I spent most of my life in toxic and abusive relationships. And there was a moment in my life where I was challenging myself to step outside of my comfort zone. My comfort zone was this toxic relationship. But the first time that I had experienced something that shook me to my core, and it was financial instability, okay, we being real here, 'cause that's all I have to offer you is myself. The first thing that I wanted to do was go back to what I knew, back to what I had learned how to survive. I know how to do this. I know how to survive this toxic relationship enough to get what I need, and that is financial security. So my thought was, okay, I'm just gonna go back to this comfort zone because I'm failing. I can't do it. I can't do this by myself. And when I brought my awareness to that, when I was able to bring myself to awareness of that, the fact that, okay, this is who I am in a state of fear. These are my thoughts. This is my behavior. This is my belief. And really be aware and witness that for myself. That is what inspired me to want to prove to myself that I can have financial stability by myself. I can grow in the way that I love myself financially, environmentally, physically, emotionally, because I'm that powerful. And you are too. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm still doing it. I'm still working my way, learning more about how I can build myself up outside of assistance from anyone. That is something that I have been working towards, and I'm just so proud of the growth that I've experienced even at this point. And so offer yourself that sense of security. You can do that. So we've explored what that fear looks like, when it comes to trying to get outside of that comfort zone. What are the consequences of staying in it? What can I benefit from stepping outside of it? Whether it be, trying to get change my career, whether it be changing my environment, moving to this new place, setting boundaries, saying no, getting out of toxic and abusive relationships, whatever it may be, whatever your comfort zone is. Even if it's just trying to get to the next level in your career, getting to the next level in your life, whatever that looks like for you, how do you challenge yourself to step outside of what's comfortable so that you can experience growth and expansion and the evolution of who you are, right? So that means exploring the fear. That means giving yourself permission to feel safe in it, safe in this transition, secure in this transition, because wherever you are is where your security is. All right, I'm going to say that again. Wherever you are is where your security is. Okay? Last thing that I want to bring up before we wrap up Self-Awareness Wednesday for today is the most important aspect of really stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that is asking for help. Asking for help. That could look like going to a close friend. That could look like going to your manager. That could look like going to HR. That could look like taking advantage of self-love resources like CenterMe. This is something that I had to develop. And even now that we have a team at Center Me, it's something that I'm really teaching myself how to how to embrace, right? And so, but I can tell you from a personal standpoint, in my personal life, being able to ask for help was something that I have challenged myself to do because I've seen the benefits. I've seen how it reduces stress in my life. I've seen how it helps me expand my network. I've seen how it helps me to expand in myself and the knowing of who I am, where my capacity is, being able to improve my self-awareness, being able to allow myself space. Like, I don't feel guilty because I'm asking for help, or I don't feel weak. I don't feel like there's something wrong with me because I need help. I feel like what I'm doing is I'm aligning myself with my highest good. What I'm doing is I'm aligning myself with the desires that I have in my life. What I'm doing is that I'm taking myself and I'm saying, you know what? I have enough energy for this, but I know that I can leverage this resource so that I can bring in more energy into my sphere of influence, and I can use that to help in maximizing the impact that I'm trying to make, the change that I'm trying to see in my life. So asking for help is actually one of the most incredible things that you can do to align you with self-preservation, highest good, abundance. And so when we are struggling to find ourselves on the other side of our comfort zone, it is absolutely essential that we are looking for spaces to ask for help. We are leveraging resources that are available to us. We are putting ourselves in alignment with self-preservation, abundance, our highest good, because that is what's going to help us in getting that confidence, really, that we need to take those steps of stepping outside of our comfort zone and really facing fear and saying, listen, this is what I want, this is what I desire. I'm going to get it because that's who I am. I can do that for myself, you know? And so these are the tips that I have for you this morning as it relates to being able to approach the resistance that you may experience when trying to step outside of your comfort zone. You explore the fear, explore it, offer yourself security, ask for help. All right? I am sending you so much love, so much peace, and so much light, sis. Listen, if you're watching the replays, listen, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everyone who's here. I am honored to serve you in this way. Make sure that you visit centerme.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. We send out a Sunday newsletter and we send out a few reminders during the week. Just to let you know what we have coming up this week. Tonight, we have our Talk That Talk class. On Friday, we have our Keep It Real journaling session, which we do every Friday. So check us out and check out what we're doing at Center Me to offer our members an opportunity to lead healthy heart and healthy mind lifestyles. As women, putting ourselves first is absolutely necessary so that we can enhance the quality of our lives and experience greater daily fulfillment. So make sure that you tap into the Center Me community and have a wonderful, wonderful day on purpose.